Minnesota companies will be hit with huge tariffs on products they export to Canada starting July 1st.
Our neighbor to the north is retaliating after President Trump imposed tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. He cited national security reasons. Is Canada a threat to our national security? Here's Pat Kessler's reality.
Canada was insulted when President Trump labeled it a national security threat to the U.S., imposing a 25% tariff on Canadian steel and 10% on aluminum.
That Canada could be considered a national security threat to the United States is inconceivable.
The president activated a rarely used 1962 trade law, allowing him to bypass Congress and take action against countries if their trade practices broadly threaten to impair national security.
They cannot believe that they've gotten away with this for so many decades. They're our allies, but they take advantage of us economically.
So what exactly is Canada's threat to the U.S.? The Trump administration says Canadian steel imports could hurt the U.S. steel industry, impairing the ability of factories to produce steel and aluminum for military jets and ships or transmission lines.
Here is the rub. The Defense Department says it doesn't need all that steel and aluminum. It says it only needs 3% of total U.S. steel production to satisfy its military needs.
The U.S. has invoked the 1962 law only 5 times in the last 56 years against enemies, not friends. President Reagan imposed a Libyan oil embargo, President Carter twice during the Iranian hostage crisis, and Presidents Ford and Nixon in the 1970s recession. Far from being a national security threat, Canada says it is America's most steadfast military ally, sacrificing thousands of soldiers in the last 100 years, including, most recently, 158 in Afghanistan. That's Reality Check.
If the U.S. does not remove its tariffs on Canadian products, Canada says it will retaliate with tariffs on $264 million worth of Minnesota products, including taconite, auto parts, and packaged foods.